So, we're about to take this out. 792. Good, we can just about touch the floor, which is nice. This bike is bonkers. It's just, we have up and down quick shifter, and 105 brake horsepower. Oh, we don't need to do that. See, I keep forgetting. Bike is brilliant. What a machine. See, I really hated the 690D because the gearbox was awful on it. The engagement of the gearbox, where it was positioned, this is much better. And it feels so quick as well. I mean, after riding the, and the thing is, I rode a CBR 600 this morning, CBR 1000 this morning, and that was spinning up the rear wheel in third gear. This I don't need to worry about. I mean, I'm only in street mode, and it's punchy in street mode, so the mirror's a little bit rubbish, to be honest, but it's alright. You couldn't really put the throttle down on that bike because the roads were really damp. This bike has lean sensitive traction control, which isn't going to save you if you go into a corner too fast, but it's going to allow you to get on the throttle while the bike's over, assuming you trust it. It's a bit lumpy at 30 miles an hour. 4,000 RPM, so it's not like it should be struggling for breath, but yeah, a little bit lumpy. quick shifters, not particularly smooth, gotta say. But you certainly get up to speed very quick. The higher the revs you are, the smoother these quick shifter systems seem to be. It's not bad. Maybe we might be able to get an overtake in here. This is much more fun than the Fireblade. We can get an overtake on here. So this is in street mode at the minute. So I think we'll stop and we'll in a moment. The really weird thing about having this downshifter is that you don't get any engine braking, which is really strange because I like having the engine braking, and as you're chucking it down the gears, it just stays in its same engine kind of state. Not describing that very well, but it doesn't apply any engine braking at all. It just keeps a constant engine rev, so it's a bit peculiar. And you get used to it fast. On this bike we've got the similar sort of LCD screen that we've got on the KTM 390 Duke, with all of the information you need, but all you need to know is where you're going. I mean, you really don't even notice the wind that much. So there's certainly some deflection from the front of the bike. Stops the wind coming at you. I mean, obviously you get some wind because it's a naked bike, but this just stops you going silly speeds. So it's not a bad thing. This bike is comfortable as well. The seat's quite firm, but you're not getting your shoulders aching. Having to worry too much about the mud on the road. It's down lanes like this, a bike like this is superb. Nice exhaust note as well, that is. Really quite bappy. Not single bappy, but not be twin bappy, but bappy. It's got a good sound, and people can hear it coming by the looks of it. Mirrors, yeah, they're not bad. I'm not detecting too many in the way of vibrations on this bike, which is good. The nice thing about having an upshifter, a quick shifter, and downshifter for that matter, is you don't really have to think about anything apart from where you're going. definitely not short on power, that is for sure. It's got good kick in your pants, this has. Ooh, bridge. Whee. Fuel gauge is a little bit better than it is on the KTM 390 Duke by the looks of it as well. Phew, I don't know this road terribly well, so... Start doing overtakes through junctions and stuff. Bye! That was neutral. Well, that wasn't very good. Don't know whether that's me or being ham-fisted or whether that's the quick shifter. Probably me. Yeah, I don't think I need a Fireblade. I think I need one of these. I think this is a better bike than the Triumph. I don't care that it's a twin. You wouldn't know it's a twin. You really wouldn't know it's a twin. I had a GPZ 500 and that was a nice starter bike, and that was a twin. And this didn't go anywhere near as quick as this bike does. So now we're back down to sensible speeds again. We've got all the little buttons. The buttons actually feel nicer. They don't seem to be like those shitty featureless buttons that have no feel to them that you get on some bikes. And they have those on the Triumphs of all bikes. I just don't like the way they feel. They're just awful. This feels like it's got proper switchgear. And you're sat quite high up, but I'm got fairly short legs and I can touch the floor. So I wouldn't have any worries about riding this bike if I was a short rider, or even a shorter rider. No idea what sort of fuel economy we've got. We've got something like 79 foot-pounds of torque, I think it is, and 105 brake on this bike. So you're a little bit down compared to the Triumph Street Triple and the MT-09, which is kind of the bikes that this is competing with, really. But they are both a lot less fun than this bike. And you've got these kind of gull wing type things, and they actually do quite a good job of keeping the wind off your lower half of your body. Let's watch this junction here as it's coming up. So it's nice that the roads have stayed reasonably dry. We'll put it into sport mode. Okay, now we're in sport mode. So we should have an even better throttle response. We have of course got ABS on this bike, and it's got to conform to the Euro Cat 4, but people worried about that, I think, and honestly don't think you really need to worry about it very much. 390 was good. This is the 390 with more power and more toys. And actually the speedo on this overreads. It's interesting. The 390 speedo is absolutely bang on. We've got a non-adjustable suspension on this bike, but ask yourself this: how many times have you actually adjusted the suspension on your bike? I'll bet the answer's close to never. I don't think you can turn wheelie off on this mode, anti-wheelie. So the bike stops the wheel from coming up in the street and sports mode. And you've got to turn it to track mode. Turn that off. Oh, just a 30 now. In order to stop the anti-wheelie. Anti-wheelie? Yeah, stop the anti-wheelie. If that makes sense. Because I'll bet this bike pops the front up no problem. You can just feel it when it was lifting the front going over the bumps. Which is nice. No steering damper, but I don't think you really need one on this bike. Clutch is cable operated. Brakes are not Brembos, which is a bit of a shame, but I think they've had to cut costs somewhere, and brakes and suspension and the tyres are one of those places. Not that you want for any grip on this. There's plenty of that grip, plenty of it. Grin factor is what makes the motorcycling experience, and this has got the grin factor in absolute spades. You don't need 150 miles an hour for the grin factor. You just don't. Listen to that exhaust sound, yeah. It sounds really, really nice. Almost got that V-twin gurgle. So, the price then, which is always the thing that's going to get you by the balls. £8,500 is the price of this bike. And that's on the road price. You get this in silver or grey. It's not silver, it's darker grey. And orange, I think. You've got to get it in orange. Who can say about reliability? I don't know. All I know is, yeah, I like this bike. I like this bike a lot. A lot. I mean, it's not a warm day, but I am not feeling cold. Not when this bike is making you feel alive. What a superb bike.